Hi everyone. Today is Monday, August the 12th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We've got a quiet Monday, but a fairly news-heavy week with the PPI and the CPI and a couple of other things that many folks are watching. I haven't drawn any new lines, don't want to clutter up the chart, but we can see that some key auto-generated lines by the volume profiles are becoming fairly important. On a 4-hour trend, we have crossed over into a bit of bullish behavior, but the overall trend line is still negative. So this gives us a lot of cross current. My supposition is that the volatility, tightening as it is, and let's do a quick look at the VIX. I believe that it's come in a fairly bit. Yep, there it is. It's come in quite a bit. And so that volatility reading is going to compress price action. We're not going to see dramatic moves, as it were, in the near term. And so we're just going to see this grind upward into the low volume note. So what are the key things that make me say that? We continue to make higher lows. The highs are being heavily contested, but the fades lower are getting bought. And so we're sitting on that 4-hour chart just to see that. If we go to the daily, we can see that the trend of momentum and volume still negative. So there is a resistance zone. This is where all the traders just gave up the ghost and said, you know what, I'm going to get out of here. Or if they didn't, they're waiting for that 539, 540 to go, you know what, I am absolutely getting out of here. This doesn't look good. So this VWAP of the lowest low is in our current formation is telling us that that number should be around 540, 541. Today's midday zoom, we might put on a trade there, see how cheap / expensive it's going to be, and take note of that. This is options expiration week, so I think towards the end of the week we should see a fair bit of noise. Here's the ES, same sort of thing. Trend looks far more positive here simply because we had our contract rolls and the volume here just really began to show up as dip buyers came into the fray. So you can see the thinner volume profile underneath. You can see them coming up into the thin pocket of air here. And so we are looking at about 54.45. That looks absolutely fantastic in my mind in terms of, what we're after. So there we go with that. Pullbacks are buy zones. We can see that clearly, but we can also see the size of the candlesticks really coming in significantly. I mean, they are really coming in significantly. And so we should see choppy upward grind into the area. Pullbacks, 53.46, all the way to, 54.50-ish in the ES. Let's go to the Qs. Looks quite different than SPY, certainly. Same thing happening, though. We're coming into the thin volume pocket. Here it is. It's where everybody collapsed. And so we're looking at about 458 to 460. I'm going to move this one up here. Old resistance to the left. New support. And lots of chop around this area. Still a gap fill for the price action to hold, but I would not be surprised to see us pop into this area and then collapse. I do not expect us to pop into the area and continue to move. In none of the charts does that show that way. It looks much more tentative right here, and my overall suspicion is that we chop in this zone for quite some time. Do we hit the VWAP? Sorry about the frog in my throat. How that goes. It's all the way up at 469. We could. We really could. The 50% fib is here at 447. The 61.8 is 454. So mark those numbers. Pull back into 445 or 447 should be a very nice buy the dip event. Not sure we'll get the chance. Sorry, I had to reconfigure my systems over the weekend, and odd sensitivities everywhere. Okay. So taking a look at the NQ, we've got this bullish pressure event coming in off of 18,500. That seems to be the low of the overnight. I do like that level on the retest for upside pressure. Not sure we're going to get a shot there, but we could get a shot at about 18,590. That's what I'm looking for. Pullbacks are buy zones today, but only into the resistance because of our relative trend that we're staring down. Okay, and old resistance into new support gives us a shot at 19,000 or at least 18,900. The point of control that we're looking at here is 19,061 for the big picture, but pullbacks definitely buy zones here. I do not see a collapse in price. We could have anything, but so far this is what it looks like. When are things going to get sticky? Listen, if we lose the open of the day, if we lose the low of the overnight, there's trouble. So far, looks really great. As long as we hold, 590, we're in good shape. I wish I'd taken the long overnight. All right, this looks like the price action that we should be, I don't have any idea. I got to talk to the guys here at Transpire and see what's going on with that forward contract right there. Yeah, this looks like what we're supposed to be seeing, but the volume is not right. The volume's right on the YM1, but the candles are right on YM2. About to fill the gap. We kind of did it on Friday. It was a great place to take a quick short, which I did. And we should have some heavy congestion. 40,131. Set an alert there, right? Could it blow past that? Absolutely. If we make higher highs, which it looks like we are, anything here that breaks north should pull back and set up for a new upside. That being said, it's down to sideways, so the break north, it's not going to have a lot of heat, right? I suspect the break north is going to be a shallow event. Other than that, pullbacks are buy zones. We are sitting at value area high. Let me see on the YM1 what the volume formations look like. All right, so yeah. 50% fib is at this 39,000. Hang on a sec. Okay, so sorry about that. I just want to make sure we have the right pricing. Here's the 50% pricing that we see in the current contract. This is the right pricing candlestick formation. Could it get up to this test where we see old support, resistance? Yes, I think so. We could easily test that 40,000 level. It's really about the picture, and it's sitting right there. Pullbacks definitely buy zones, but I will be waiting for the collapse of this edge to short if it gets all the way up here. If it pulls back, I'm going to try and buy at that 39,613. If not, I'm going to try and sell it up here, or maybe piggyback on the formation in general, right? We go to the 4 hour, it looks a lot cleaner, and we can see that they're just playing ping pong right between these two levels here, from the point of control at 39,536 to our region up here at 39,770. So yeah, when it breaks out of there, right? Candlestick close, what is it? That would be 1 o'clock. No, we're going to have this candle close in just a bit. It's going to be closed by 10 a.m. If the 10 a.m. candlestick closes, this 4 hour 10 a.m. candlestick closes above 39,751, I will see about taking it long into 40,000. But if it does not follow a nice clean upward path, I'm out of there. This is a very, very sideways chart. Okay, let's take a look at oil. I almost said oil like I was from the country. Yeah, this once in a while the old southern twang certainly falls out of there. Spending 20 years in the South. Let's look at a daily. So, what do we got? Ooh, double distribution. That's interesting. So, as you recall, I mentioned, hey, listen, we get above 75 and it holds. We're going to go to 76. Above 76, we go to 77. Above 77, we go to 78. And so this is where we're on the climb to. As a matter of fact, the VWAP of the lowest low is around 78.80. Now, the tide has certainly turned in energy because the oil guys are sniffing something out, and I just can't figure out what it is. But as soon as I figured out, or as soon as my suppositions are solid, I'm going to come back and tell you. But in the meantime, pullbacks are definitely buy zones all the way to 79 in my mind. See this low volume pocket? It could go all the way back up to 80 easily. That'll be very, very interesting. Okay, and gold, finally. What? GBC. I don't know when these guys go into rollover. Looks like they're going into rollover right now from the look of this. Look at this volume. Just hanging on, but lower highs, except for that crazy wick, which I think is, Japan coming out and saying, hey, listen, we're going to raise rates. Oh, just kidding. And having the, 2-3 days of a gigantic unwind in the carry trade. But, my thought was a lot of people were getting out of that carry trade because they knew this was going to be an inevitability. My suspicion is that all shenanigans are related to currency events because currency sits on the backbone of credit. And when things go bad, credit's the first place that gets hit. And I stand behind that. So that being said, we're still looking at this formation. Could it break out? Absolutely. 2450. But for right now, this is such a sloppy chart. I don't want to trade it, right? 2447. I don't want to trade it at all. Okay, I think that's it. Wow, what a weird morning report, right? So weird. Okay, take care, everybody. I'll see you on the Zoom. We'll take a look at how price action behaves, and you know what? We'll make it a good day. I'll see you on the platforms.